Good day to one and all. This is Dr. Sivaraman of iknowindices.com. Hope you are able to hear me. Let me display the PowerPoint presentation. Asian session live market analysis for the week 16th to 20th of July. So we are here on 16th July between 5 and 5:45 GMT. So from this week, some interesting moves are expected to happen. So I like to give some elaborate forecast, then come to that of the market reading and the trading strategy. So with regard to the forecast algorithm, as I explained, that it gives an idea how exactly the market could make the moves, and this is a statistical analysis, and it may or may not work, doesn't matter, but to know out of curiosity what could be the expected market moves, we can follow it. And on a daily basis, I am giving it in iknowindices.com/blog, the blog post. There you can just go through the forecast on a daily basis. But I'm going to give the forecast with regard to the majors as well as the crosses. What could happen from this time onwards, from this week till end of this month. So first I will talk with regard to the majors. So I will show the expected market moves for today. Now, in the case of Euro and GBP, you know that on Friday they made the gaining moves as anticipated, that for weekend they wanted to trap the short sellers and gained more in the case of GBP and less in the case of Euro and moderately high in the case of Australian dollar. But at that time they are not dropping USD CHF, but they made a nominal drop of 50 pips in the case of USD CAD. So they made the contrarian moves on Friday and made a nominal drop in the case of USDN and USD CAD, but they were not dropping much in the case of USD CHF and nominally gained Euro from 1.21 area to 1.2240 area. So what they try to achieve out of that, they gained more levels in the case of GBP around 150 pips and nominally about 30-40 pips in the case of Euro. As a result, you come across that Euro GBP has come below that of 0.79 and currently trading around 0.78 area. So now after achieving this, reaching from 0.88 to 0.78 area in the case of Euro GBP, and there's a heavy cross, the pip value is double when compared to the other currency crosses. So what they are expected to do from today. Now during the Japanese session, Euro and GBP were expected to swing and firm up, and the week beginning false move could be limited to that of the early Japanese session. What they had done as the drop from that of the Friday close is the week beginning false move, and they are expected to make swing and rise moves during that of the European session. From this week onwards, on a daily basis, European session could bring in more momentum in the market when compared to that of US session. So if you want to do swing trades, focus on the European trades rather than US trades, and you'll be able to see good profit making opportunities prevail during that of the European session, and the moves could start from that of the Japanese session and middle of Japanese session, and quickly they could gain or lose levels during that of the European session on different days, and US session most of the days could show swing and firm up moves and little bit of swings or holding and things like that. So we have to just understand that when the moves are going to be, and accordingly take our trading decisions. That is why I just wanted to explain that during the European session on a daily basis, you could come across good momentum in the market. and try to capitalize it and try to take positions and exit out of that during this particular session on a daily basis, and that could be really beneficial. Now, today we could come across the firm up moves during that of the Japanese as well as the US session, and European session there could be a good rise. And tomorrow, 17th of July, there could be more of a swing moves, and either way stop-ins could be seen. Either way stop-ins could be seen on Tuesday, not on midweek, on Tuesday. So you could come across Tuesday that during the Japanese session, they could make a downward stop-in and then gain the levels during that of the European session and make nominal swings during that of the US session. That is 17th of July. Then 18th midweek, they are expected to make the small downward swing during that of the Japanese session, and European session they are expected to aggressively gain the levels on Wednesday. So Tuesday either way stop-in and Wednesday aggressive gains could be seen. Then Thursday, that is 19th of July, the market might show subdued moves. The market might show subdued moves and relatively a moderate move during that of the European session, but Japanese and the US session may show very subdued moves. It may not give any trading opportunity like how Euro is holding, GBP is holding. Hardly you can get about 10 to 15 pips move, and that sort of moves could be seen on Thursday, that is 19th of July. Then 20th of July, the next coming Friday, that is coming Friday, the market is expected to make very good moves, and especially USD Yen is expected to make an aggressive gaining move on that particular day. And Euro and GBP are also expected to gain the levels and hold higher levels. So you could come across that the players might make varied moves in the case of Euro and GBP and also USD Yen and USD CHF. As a result, you could find that the crosses are handled very nicely. So if you could focus on the cross trading, you will be really benefited during this particular week. They are expected to make very quick moves in the case of crosses. Now, in continuation of this, I wanted to go to that of the live market code page. I'll give the link for the same. So I'll also focus the camera over that of the live market code page and explain to you what could happen during this particular week. So before that, we will do today's analysis. Euro is showing 14 pips negative net change, currently trading around 22.34, 22.36 area. 22.72 was the high. They quickly made an upward move and then started making the slide. After setting the low, they are not breaching the low and they are just holding around that of the low with 14 pips negative net change. And USD Yen is also showing negative net change as a contrarian move, and 79.06 is the low, 79.09, 79.10 are the current level, 79.28 is the high. Very narrow spread is seen. And in the case of GBP, what they gained on Friday, they are not losing it, and it went up to 55.93 and came down to 55.64 and currently trading closer to that of the low, 55.66, 9 pips negative net change. When Euro has made about 14 pips negative net change, GBP is making only 9 pips negative net change. And in the case of USD CHF, it is trading around 0.981517 level, and 9787 is just stopping below that of the psychological level. 98 is the low, and they're just holding around that of the high. 98.19, 98.15 is the current level with 11 pips positive net change. When Euro has made about 14 pips negative net change, USD CHF is making only 9 pips positive net change. As a result, Euro CHF is currently trading with 1 pip positive net change, 1.2009, 1.2011 area. Now, I'll explain the crosses after explaining the majors, and we are expecting good moves in the case of crosses. And in the case of Canadian dollar, it is currently trading around 1.014648 level. 1.0151 is the high, 1.0132 is the low, and 9% positive net change is seen. In Australian dollar, it gained on Friday the levels and holding above 1.02, even though it came down below that of 1.02 briefly and then gone up again on Friday, currently trading around 1.0220, 1.0222, 1.0252 is the high, 1.0213 is the low. 6 pips negative net change is seen. So when euro is making 14 pips negative net change, GBP is relatively making less negative net change of 9 pips, and Australian dollar is still making lesser negative net change of 6 pips. Now, they are expected to slowly firm up after making the week beginning false move during the start of the Japanese session, and slowly during the European session they are expected to gain and make further gains during that of the US session, but that will be firming up move. Now, because of the contrarian move, Euro, USD Yen and GBP are making the negative net change. You find Euro Yen is making about 20 pips negative net change and GBP Yen is making about 20 pips negative net change. So they are expected to gain the levels. In the case of Yen crosses, they may just make a brief stop and if needed below that of 79.06, and then subsequently they are expected to gain the levels from tomorrow. So in the process, they could make a downward move, little bit downward move in the case of Euro Yen and GBP Yen and also Aussie Yen, and then start making the gains. Now, with regard to Euro GBP, so they have released their funds from that of Euro GBP and it has come to 0.78607861. You could come across here afterwards. Euro GBP is making nominal swings on the up as well as the down moves. So you know that about 3-4 years back, Euro GBP was considered as a very safe currency. Maximum it might do about 25 pip swings. So people holding positions without a stop also will not incur much of a loss, and they can hold and try to book profit. That sort of trading opportunities might happen, and that sort of swings were seen in the case of Euro CHF for nearly about 2 to 3 months. And you know, Euro CHF was almost stable around 1.20, and many people were thinking that S&B was trying to peg it around 1.20 and things like that, and we are expecting the forecast algorithm is expecting good upward move from now in the case of Euro CHF, and for that they are expected to gain on a daily basis nominally in the case of Euro, and also in the case of Euro USD CHF, and also in the case of GBP CHF. There are 3 European crosses, namely Euro GBP, Euro CHF and GBP CHF. So GBP CHF also they have gained the levels and they are expected to further gains, and you know which was considered as a virulent cross earlier, and that particular post was taken by Euro GBP earlier. Till 2009, Euro CHF GBP CHF was considered as a virulent currency, and it was expected to make about 200 to 300 pips on one-sided moves, and slowly it was making only 50-60 pips move, and players were focusing on Euro GBP at that time. Now they are exiting out of Euro GBP and coming to that of GBP CHF, and which is expected to make more virulent moves in coming days. And also Euro CHF is expected to take very active role in the market, not making 1 or 2 pips, and the spread between the high and the low is now 1 pip, and it is expected to make aggressive moves from here. And before that, you know, as usual, they will try to make a downward stop, and so below 1.20, when they quickly make a downward stop into 1.1978 or 1.1955 and things like that, you try to grab the position, and they are expected to make an upward move. Similar moves, they are doing it in the case of Euro Yen and GBP coming below that of the psychological level of 100. They come to 96, just to induce all the long holders to liquidate, and they buy. The players are the only people entitled to buy by making this sort of moves, and anybody else buy, they will just induce them to liquidate it by holding it. So they know how to create fear and make the traders impatient. As a result, they achieve their objectives. So from now till end of this month, you will come across more big moves happening in the case of cross. So those who are interested in trading crosses can identify the cross. As I explained, you have to relate the majors to that of the cross. So suppose you wanted to focus on Euro CHF. Now Euro in positive negative net change, and if USD CHF also comes in negative net change, it is a contrarian move. When they make a contrarian move, they will try to push both on the downside a little bit and then start making an upward move. In that process, USD CHF is expected to gain first, and followed by that Euro is also expected to gain. Then they will have double edge effect of both showing positive net change. You would have seen several occasions that USD Yen and Euro GBP, they used to make it, they show it in the negative net change, and on Friday they showed it on a positive net change, and later on reversed USD Yen. So that sort of moves they are expected to make, and so crosses are expected to bring in more volatile moves from coming days, and till from 16th till 31st of July will come across more aggressive moves of the crosses. Now coming to the the initial lows and the highs set for today. Euro set the low 1.2232, which is not breached from the start of the session. 1.2272 is the high, which is also not breached, but currently market is trading around 1.2237, 5 pips above that of the initial low. And in the case of GBP, 55.64 is the low, 55.93 is the high, and they are currently trading around the middle level, 55.68.70. They are expected to gain the levels. Already they gained the levels in the case of Australian dollar. So always keep it in mind, whichever is showing the less negative net change is expected to gain first, and later on more negative net change currencies will start gaining. Now you can see Aussie is in positive net change of 2 pips, then followed by that GBP is also expected to come to positive net change, and Euro will also come to positive net change later on during the day. And Yen 79.06 is the low. They are not breached it, even though they have come closer to that. Just 79.08 is the current level, and 79.28 is the high. So they could make a brief downward stop, and so below that of 79.06 or below that of the psychological level 79, and then start making the rise and breach the high and go above. Friday they did the same and then come down. Again they are consolidated. Started making moves in USD Yen instead of merely making consolidations. As a result, you will come across USD CHF is expected to go to parity either in this week or next week, and USD Yen is also expected to go to 80, 81, 82 area very quickly this week or next week. So keep a track of it. When they make the spread more than that of this sort of consolidations, you try to take the positions, you will be able to book nice profit in that. And in the case of CHF 97.87 is the low, 98.19 is the high. They are not breached. And Canadian dollar 1.0132 is the low, 1.0151 is the high. That is also not breached. And in the case of Australian dollar, 1.0213 is the low, 1.0252 is the high, and they are not breached it. And those who have been noting down on a daily basis the initial lows and the highs might have noticed that till last week 1.0213 was the initial high, and they have been moving downward, accumulating it, and today they have set the high as 1.0213. So hope you are able to understand what they intend to do. They wanted to make further gains in the case of Australian dollar. Already it has come to positive net change. So I'll just go back to that of the PowerPoint, the live market code page to show you how in the case of Canadian dollar, it is 7 pips positive net change, and Australian dollar 3 pips positive net change, which is a contrarian move. Whenever they make such contrarian moves, understand that they wanted to handle the crosses. So similarly, Euro, USD, and GBP are showing negative net change. So that is again a contrarian move. So big beginning, they are making the contrarian moves and just gaining and losing the levels, and later on they wanted to make their own way of moves, and which you may not be able to explain. Even the fundamentals may not be able to explain. But they are expected to gain the levels in the case of Euro, GBP, and USD and also in the case of USD CHF, and in the case of USD CAD and Australian dollar. All currencies, they are expected to alternatively gain the levels. In the process, Euro and GBP are expected to gain more levels, and the denominator currencies are also expected to relatively gain the levels and not move opposite, not making USD gaining or USD weakening move, and it's more of the contrarian move on a daily basis. So I explained the expected market moves, that swing and firm up moves are expected during Japanese session. Swing and rise is the expected move. As I explained it, from now you'll come across more volatile moves are expected to happen during the European session, and focus on European session start and also late Japanese session, and try to read their type of moves they are doing it, and you can really capture good profit during such moves. And swing and firm up moves are expected during that of the US session. Let me minimize the PowerPoint presentation and try to focus the camera over that of the live market code page and try to answer the questions which are asked here. So for no question is being posted, so probably okay. Then money minute. It appears that Euro USD is getting ready to move from the lower consolidation levels, yes, to the middle level consolidation area. And Australian dollar is also moving from the middle consolidation level to the higher level consolidation level. Magnet, you are absolutely correct, and that is what they are trying to do it. So you could come across from the consolidations level, they are expected to breach because they have kept a lot of money in the case of Euro GBP cross, and they just taken it out by booking profit. You may not come across aggressive gains in the case of Euro GBP. At the maximum, it may make about 25 to 50 pips, and all the money what they are released from Euro GBP, they will just put it in the other crosses and currencies. And also you might be able to see that they've been holding crude for a long time above 100 and started making the slide, relieved the money. And also in the case of gold and silver, now you will come across in the case of commodity markets like gold and silver, volatile moves are expected to prevail, but not one-sided gains for a longer period. That sort of moves we may not be able to see, and the money is going to be equally distributed to various currencies and crosses, the majors and the crosses. As a result, you will find they will try to book profit by making the USD gaining move, USD weakening move, and the contrarian move, and thereby they will be able to earn money from that of the majors, earn money from that of the crosses, and also from that of the commodity market. That sort of moves you will come across. So this sort of volatile moves are very good for swing trades. Try to focus on it and try to take position and close it within the same session, and you will be able to really build up your equity. Then Arun Kondial. What about USD CHF? USD CHF, either this week or next week, it is expected to go above parity. Then afterwards, USD CAD is expected to make a big jump to 1.05 area. Till such time, in order to handle CHF Canadian dollar cross, they hold USD CAD, and later on they will gain more levels quickly in the case of USD CAD when USD CHF comes to parity level. Then Caesar. We expect gold to trade stronger above 1600. Yeah, gold is expected to make either way moves year afterwards, and the highest level might be about 1630 level, and the lowest might be 1550. That sort of range they are expected to. Some extreme ranges they may show on certain days, especially the weekends or when strong market sentiment is created and things like that. They may make extreme moves of bring to 1,550 and then take it to 1630. That range is expected to trade. And similarly, silver from 26 to 29, it is expected, or 30, it is expected to trade. Whenever there is a good drop, you can buy. They will not bring it to zero in those crosses. In the commodities. Then what about New Zealand dollar, William? Okay, New Zealand dollar, you can compare it to that of Australian dollar so that you will be able to understand how relatively the players want to make the moves. See, as far as Australian dollar and New Zealand dollars are concerned, they are commodity pairs. And, the New Zealand dollar, the volume is relatively less when compared to that of Australian dollar. And also they have the cross Aussie New Zealand dollar. Aussie New Zealand dollar cross. So when you look into Aussie New Zealand dollar, Aussie is in the numerator, New Zealand dollar is in the denominator. And when Aussie New Zealand dollar is showing 5 pips negative net change, you can understand that New Zealand dollar is relatively stronger when compared to Australian dollar. As a result, the numerator is weaker when compared to denominator, then it shows negative net change. So here you find Aussie has gained 2 pips, New Zealand dollar has gained 6 pips. So for week beginning, they are expected to gain the levels in the New Zealand dollar first, relatively higher when compared to Australian dollar, and from midweek they will reverse and gain more levels in the case of Australian dollar and drop or hold New Zealand dollar. As a result, Aussie New Zealand dollar cross is also expected to lose first and later on gain. So New Zealand dollar is currently trading around 0.7964. 7952 is the low, 7984 is the high. It could go to about 82, 83 area and start to make the reversal. Then Slava. Did I understand correctly? You are suggesting that euro will be trading as bull today and on New York session. Now I explained that euro is expected to make an upward move. I don't use the word a bull or a bear because whenever there is this one-sided move of that nature, then we can call it as a bullish move and bearish move and things like that. A small move of 50 pips or 100 pips on the downside, 50, 100 pips on the upside. We try to use the terminology bull and the bear and things like that. It influences your sentiment. So you become, when you use frequently bearish, you become bearish. Then what happens? You don't feel like doing a buy and sell trade. So objectively, when the currency is trading closer to low and not breach the low from the start of the Japanese session, it is ideally a good time to take the buy position when they come closer to low during the late session. When you want to trade Euro GBP, the majors, the ideal time will be the early Japanese and the late Japanese. Mid sessions, they handle the crosses. So when they make a small dip from 5:30 to 7 GMT, you can buy and see whether they are breaching the low or not during that particular time frame, and then try to keep hedging order to limit the risk 30 pips below. And once it makes profit of 15, 20, 25 pips, you can keep stop at entry and eliminate the risk, and then try to focus on the gains during that of the European session, exit out of the position. Then next day, watch during Japanese and European, you will be able to get good profits. So I humbly request you not to use the terminologies bulls and the bears for small moves. And there are people, they call as a bullish candle, bearish candle for green and the red candle. And sometimes when the chart becomes highly narrowed, even 7 to 10 pips move, the candle will appear very big and they become bullish and bearish. Then it triggers the uncertainty. Once you develop the uncertainty, it is extremely difficult to take a call. That is why I am telling you, not otherwise. Then money management, magnet. I am finally starting to understand. Okay, thank you. Then Tepu, what is Euro USD expected end of this month? Euro USD is expected to gain considerably in this week and also in this month. Then house. What about Euro Australian dollar cross? And when you see that on certain days they just gain more levels in the case of Australian dollar when compared to Euro. On certain other days, last week you would have noticed in the beginning, they gained more in the case of Euro but not Australian dollar. That is mainly to handle Euro Aussie cross. So watch that, which one is showing positive and which one is showing negative. And today they wanted to, when Aussie, then denominator, becomes Euro Australian dollar. When Aussie denominator becomes stronger when compared to Euro, it shows negative net change. When the denominator is stronger when compared to numerator, it will be negative net change. And when the denominator is weaker when compared to that of numerator, the net change will be positive. So here you can get the truth. And Euro is making 10 pips negative net change, Aussie is making 1 pip positive net change. So they intend to gain more levels in the case of Aussie, and followed by that Euro is expected to gain. As a result, Euro Aussie is expected to make further downward move. So read it this way and try to do the study and trade. You will be able to find that the trade understanding becomes simple. Because ultimately the players make only moves in the case of 4 majors and 2 commodity pairs. By using 6 strings, they are able to manipulate all the crosses by making varied moves or a contrarian moves. See, like USD CAD with a positive net change, Australian dollar with a positive net change. So it is a contrarian move. That sort of moves they try to do in order to bring in volatility in the case of crosses. Then Jason, can we expect Euro and GBP moving to 1.25 level and 1.59 level? Yeah, probably in a day or two we should be able to see that. Then Jason, when there is a down move in yen crosses, is it a good chance to buy for position trade? Yes, definitely. See, they make some, when people think that below 100 is a psychological level, so whenever they come to 99, 98, they try to add. Then the players show 96. Then they become jittery and liquidate long position. Later on, they go above 100. So always understand that when you have understanding of doing position trade, in the case of yen crosses, you have to spread the risk every 200 pips. Only then you will be able to sustain with the positions. So take only one mini lot of euro yen below 100. Then after 200 pips drop, take another. After 200 pips drop, you take another. Then you will be having only 3 mini lots. Your equity will be able to handle it, and it may not lead to over trading. And in a matter of about 1 or 2 days, they will just reverse the market. You close all the positions above their average. Then again, wait for them to make a contrarian move like this. Euro drop, USD yen drop. Then try to take the buy positions. That way, if you do it, it will be beneficial. Instead of doing sell and buy here around 97, 96. Because they expect the traders to do that. Technically, you can sell here, capture about 25 pips. And that is how they expect the traders to do it. They may show the profit also 2, 3 times, 4 times and things like that. Then the traders will become addict and commit more positions. Take about 1 lot trade straight away instead of about 1 mini lot and things like that. Or take 10 lots if it is of a bigger equity size. then they lose in all the big lots. So they know how to make the traders addict. The players are specialized in that. So we should not become addicted to trading. Then gold. How will dollar react to Rumi elections? Okay. Now, as far as the US dollar is concerned, I explained the expected market moves are Euro and GBP are expected to gain, and also USDN and USD CHF are expected to gain. So that means what? Euro and GBP are expected to make the USD weakening move, and the denominator currencies are expected to make USD gaining move. Gold and silver, they are not expected to make very big gaining moves. As a result, you will find US dollar index will be range bound, and it may not make a big drop or a big rise, irrespective of the Romney election. That's what my forecast algorithm says. Okay. No more questions, so I'll go back to that of the PowerPoint presentation. I explained the derived forecast with regard to this particular week and also the month, and also explained that the crosses are expected to make big moves during this particular time frame till end of July, and also we could come across more volatile and also quick moves to happen during the European session when compared to that of the Japanese and the US sessions. You may call it as a summer halls or whatever it is, but that is how the market is expected to behave till end of July. Then the market reading, we do it on a daily basis in order to fine tune the forecast algorithm. So around 3:30 GMT, we make a note of the initial lows and the highs, what I have shown it earlier, in 4 majors and 2 commodity pairs, and try to use them as a reference level for the day. And in order to understand the type of moves, what are the 4 types of moves? They make less than 30 minutes 2 types of moves. One is stop and either above that of the high, they go up quickly about 15 to 25 pips and come down below that of the initial high in less than 30 minutes. This happens during session start and the late session time, or it can happen on the downside also. Then if they make an upward stop and they intend to make a drop. If they make a downward stop and they intend to make an upward move. So that you can understand with regard to stop and. Sometimes when the traders are having mixed positions, they pretend, but they don't give profit booking opportunities to others. They come to the high, they come to low set for the day, what we have noted down as the initial low, and quickly come to high and breach the high and stay above. So during the dip, those who are holding long positions might liquidate, and those who have taken the sell positions will wait for further drop to book profit. But they don't drop further, and they reverse quickly and go above that of the initial high and stay there and start gaining the levels quickly. After the false move, they always make an extended move. Extended move is a quick move. And in a matter of 30 minutes, they will be able to gain about 50 to 60 pips. So 3 times they do it every 30 minutes, and the last 30 minutes they stop breaching the high. After 2 hours you find the high is not breached, then they start making the swing either between the new high and the initial high, or sometimes they just make a false move again, dip, and then continue the gain later on as an intentional move. So if the move is very quick, understand it will be a extended move, and it will be short-lived and it can stay for 2 hours. If it is a slow gain above that of the high and continue to gain slowly, then it is an intentional move till end of the session. They are expected to gain the levels. So still our reading can go wrong. So always use the trading strategy. As soon as you enter into the market, keep an entry stop order 30 pips below that of the position. And once the position makes profit of 15 to 25 pips, keep stop at entry, eliminate the risk. Because you can say simply, euro is expected to go up, so I taken a buy position. In the event if euro comes down before making further rise, if I lost my position or lose my equity, there's no point in calling that my forecast has come true. So ultimately, what is more important is successful trading, not simply telling that I was giving a call that euro will go up, it has gone up, so just lift my collars, and that is of no use unless and otherwise I earn in that particular trade. So I know very well that whatever the forecast we give between the cup and the lip, anything can happen. If people are able to give 100% forecast, then they will not have any sufferings in life. And as long as we are human, we are bound to undergo sufferings and stress. So obviously no forecast will be 100%. If you expect somebody to give 100% forecast, that means you are not prepared your mind, you are not understood your reality, what is happening around. So in that process, what you have to do, use the trading strategy and try to limit the risk and maximize the profit using the trailing stop in profit making position. Out of fear, some people hold the loss making position. As soon as the profit is seen, they quickly close it at stop at entry or close it with 10 pips profit. So that should also be avoided. So you should be able to limit the risk and maximize the profit. That is the professional approach to the market. So I take this opportunity to thank FX Street and also you people who have come here to listen to my webinar and try to grab whatever is interesting you and whatever is meaningful to you, and not necessarily you have to follow me totally, and note down what is beneficial for you and try to perfect it by using your own intelligence, and then you will be able to really come up as a professional trader. I'll come back on Thursday, 19th of July, and give yet another session of Asian session live market analysis. During that time, I'll just review what I have given as the forecast and also give further forecast for the rest of the days in that particular week. So on a daily basis, I update in my blog the expected market moves, because that you won't be getting it elsewhere. But market reading, you can do it using the live market code page. So use them together, still use the trading strategy, and see that you are able to consistently earn from that of the market. So thank you one and all. See you on Thursday. Wish you happy trading.